This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
She flowing in that cash talk. Walk in the booth like Naomi on the catwalk. And tell them bitches whoop whoop from the Jaguar. It ain't even right though. Push me and I might go. She ain't getting money. I'm like, what the fuck the hype for? When them bitches bite flow, make my appetite go. Poof, gone. Voila, magic. Looking mad good just to pull up on them rampant.
Welcome back to another episode of Unhinged and Immoral. I'm Jamila.
And I am Mecca.
And boy, oh boy, are y'all fussing and fighting over these goddamn school supplies. I mean, what's going on, guys? Maybe the classrooms are asking for, I don't know, MacBooks or something this year. Like, what is it with the school supplies that has everybody in such a damn tizzy?
I mean, listen, I think that people should just say they don't value their children's education. Because that's what it's giving.
And, you know, there's two different conversations happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like a real genuine conversation and concern about price gouging, about how, you know, we really shouldn't have to buy our kids school supplies because the schools just should supply them, which very fair, very honest, true, you know, conversation. But then there's the other conversation happening where it's given, I ain't buying my kid a motherfucking thing. Make it do with that number 2 pencil and get your ass about this goddamn house. I'm not buying no teacher, no. And it's just giving a I like, whoa, why are we angry?
Okay, so what I think it comes down to is there is a real and genuine conversation to be had about how since the fucking Reagan administration, the public school system has been on a downward trajectory in terms of like, what is it? The music programs, all the things that schools used to provide like back in the 80s versus when we were 90s, when we were kids and now. But to your point, we had to buy school supplies too. And that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
any chance we get to blame Reagan, we shall.
Oh, yes. No, do you see what I did there? Do you see what I did there? Actually, comes back to everything being Ronald Reagan's fault.
Doings. Yes. But yeah, like the school supply list is not anything new. Like if this was something that just randomly came out of the blue, then I can understand the frustration and the confusion. But a school supply list has always been, and I'm 29 for reference, guys. Okay. So a school supply list, and my sister's like 50. So the school supply list has always been in place. And it's always been a part of like the whole thing. Like honestly, I used to really enjoy that little 2 week right before school because it was like the adrenaline of like, ooh, I'm finna go back to school. Like right before like the actual school time hits you and then you remember, oh my gosh, I actually hate school. Like, you know, when you start to miss your friends, you start to kind of miss class.
Together.
Exactly. And then your parents take you school shopping. It was a whole thing. I remember our parents. Now, to be fair, I am not the bourgeoisie blacks. I am not the upper middle class blacks. I'm regular. You
can relate to never would have made it.
Well, I mean, no, I wouldn't say that. Like I had both my parents. Do you even
know where that comes from?
I saw your TikTok, but I don't really get it.
But do you know where it comes from?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, the co-founder of Maverick City.
Yes.
Said
I
that
did watch his.
He changed gospel music up
interview
because he couldn't relate to never would have made it because his parents are doctors.
Let's pause on that because I'm because
Can we put that on? I have to come back to that.
We will absolutely come back to that.
Come back to that. Okay.
Melissa, remind us to come beat his ass real quick.
I got it.
On the comeback.
No, because he said
I have a couple of points that I actually want to hit on that. I completely forgot that should happen.
I was going to say, hold on, you are a part of elitist organizations.
To complete out the conversation of school supplies and things, very regular working class Blacks. Both of my parents had jobs, but my dad has been a teacher for a very long time. We already know they get 3 nickels to rub together. So, my parents was not breaking me. And my parents are the type of parents that, why the fuck do you need a $50 book bag anyway? It's just a goddamn book bag. Like, my parents never were the type to understand, like, the lure of, like, fancy shit that don't need to be fancy. Like, you're using a pencil for schoolwork. It doesn't need to be fancy. They're them type of Blacks. So, we got number 2 wooden pencils. We got your basic notepad, the basic ass shit, bitch. But it was still very fun. We was going to Kohl's to shop because why? You would get that Kohl's cash in return. There were things that we did to match my parents' budget, right? Even though we weren't getting all the top-notch things on the school supply list, my parents made sure that I had what I needed to at least pass that goddamn class.
And
the fact that you don't want to send your baby to school with a pencil,
crazy. Well, I didn't get the top-notch things because my parents were old and was like, when I was your age, we didn't need all this. So I didn't actually start getting GN sports until high school. Up until that time, me and Darrington went to the thrift store and they would get us. Because mind you, their reasoning was so real. Like, you're a kid. By the end of this year, the backpack's going to be dusted anyway. You don't need a brand new $100 backpack. They ate that. Yeah. Pencils, my parents were children in the 60s. They weren't buying us no mechanical pencils. Although I did enjoy throughout the school years.
Parents of the generation also, for some reason, hated mechanical pencils. There was a beef between mechanical pencils and older parents.
Literally, one thing about it, I was going to steal somebody's mechanical pencil because I needed one.
That's all I ever did. That's the only reason I had them. My parents never bought me a mechanical pencil. My mom never purchased me. But hold on, I saw you talk about this a little bit on TikTok, and it brought me back in terms of if you were the kid who your parents bought you like basic school supplies, being a thief throughout the school year. And it's what set you up.
Hitting licks on those who parents were buying them the good shit.
Exactly.
I remember I stole this girl's mechanical pencil and she was like, that's my pencil. And I gaslit her. And I gaslit her so bad that everyone was like, no, that's her pencil.
I just felt like, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter what my parents buy me because I'm coming home with something. You know what I'm saying? I was stealing anything and everything. I mean, I'm stealing good paper. You know what I'm saying?
Hello,
that's
thick
good
line paper, not the Dollar Tree paper.
There were times where my parents would... I have to talk about how cheap my parents would be sometimes, bro. There would be times my parents did not feel like buying us notebook paper at the time. And do you know that they would send us with copy paper because my mom is like a habitual office lady and would have stacks of office paper. I'm talking about plain white sheets of paper.
That's beautiful. And I used to want to have plain white sheets of paper because it was so much better to me. I didn't like the lines.
Mind you, the writing all slanted and shit. I need the lines, bitch. I needed those lines. My shit just... in a fucking rainbow.
Fun fact,
just slanted.
Literally, I can write so good in a straight line because I really preferred like white paper.
That's crazy.
The other thing that's crazy about this conversation, I made a TikTok about this, is like, I just bought school supplies in the past 2 years. Little moms went to middle school. So I know like the current price point and listing for things. If it's a priority for your children to have school supplies and do well in school, you can rub them 2 nickels together and look around and see what you're going to do. Like I said, that's a priority for me. I feel like as Americans, we are all entitled to baseline education. And if you don't like value that, then just go ahead and say that. Stop having like a disingenuous conversation, like buying your kids $10 worth of paper and pencils is irritating.
Can I chime in one time? The prices have gone up a little bit because of the tariffs.
No. Oh, yes. Yeah. The prices for school supplies have... Because the thing is, the school supplies were always expensive. So I can only imagine, how much they are now, especially in that, for some reason, middle school Middle school
That's why I said that. That's literally why I said that. I just had, and mind you, when she started 8th grade, which is when she came to live with me, that was when I was still on my dick. Like, I was not making money like that. Like, I literally had to be like,
dick?
You never heard that? It's like a term for being broke. I'm on my dick right now.
No, I haven't heard that before, bitch. Like, don't just say some new colloquialism that just be pulled out your ass
like,
and expect me to know what the fuck that's from.
Absolutely heard. I'm on my dick right now. Like, okay,
I've heard on my dick, but it usually means like, oh, bitch, you're really on my dick right now. Like, you're pressed.
Like,
so I've never heard it mean like
you're
I'm broke.
on, but you being on my dick is something different. I'm on my own dick.
If I'm on my own dick, that means I'm broke?
Yeah, I'm on my dick, yeah. You've never heard that?
What region is that from?
I actually don't know. I picked it up. I know I picked it up from one of the regions I've been in, but I don't want to put it on no one when I'm not sure.
I am begging everyone right now to tell me where the fuck that is from.
I ain't never heard that.
Because I need to have because I was like, hold on. What'd you just say? I need everyone to chime in and let me know where the fuck is that from and why would I be on my own dick for brokenness?
Let me just go ahead and say it. I know people are going to chime in and do prices, and my Facebook bitches are going to feel me. Sometimes with the babies, you got to be Miss Make It Happen. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I was on my dick when she came to live with me, but I know when school starts, it started the same month since I was a kid, and I did know that I was going to have to budget and move things around. And I specifically said she went to middle school because middle school is when, what the fuck?
You just need all types
of knickknacks and bullshit.
Yeah.
Compasses and mind you, I was on Amazon heavy at the time. They had good prices. We were at church. What is this, like church school back to school drives?
There's so many drives.
Dollar Tree. There is
typically.
Like the thing with school supplies. If it's important to you, like there are resources. Like if you really do care about your children, finding the supplies that they need for school and setting them up, you can absolutely find it. That I think that's where I'm coming, because I'm like, nah, I've been in that situation. I didn't have $200 to spend, but I said, it's important. She needs a motherfucking calculator to do whatever the fuck they finna calculate.
And
so
the thing is, like, school is so important, guys. I think that we need to talk about how important school is for a multitude of reasons. So, of course, we can touch on the education component, like the education that you get in school, specifically your mathematics, your Englishes, your social studies, all of those things, right? Your simple reading comprehension, that, the schooling that you have for those first 12 years is going to set you up for the rest of your life, genuinely, truly. However, another component about school that's super, super important that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is the socialization aspect of it. That's something that we literally learn in sociology. You are, the way you are in the world, the way you show up is a component of three main things: your home life, your school life, and the outside world perspective and the things that's happening around you. Those pivotal years in school is shaping your kids. You sending your kid to school with nothing on purpose. I'm not talking about the people who genuinely don't have. I'm talking about you mean bitches who is like, I ain't buying all that goddamn shit. Sending them to school with nothing to prove some sort of point. You are creating this. You're putting them in a situation that is going to be very uncomfortable for them, embarrassing. Like, it's just like, why would you do that? And on top of that, we talk about community so much on this fucking podcast. Bitch, bring back community. Why are you mad that the teacher's asking for a fucking hand sanitizer, bitch? Damn.
And that's the other thing. Okay, so let me also put this on the flow. I was blessed in terms of, like, my mom had a business, so she was very active in our classrooms. My mom became good friends with my principal. Also, my brother was like a baby kid down, so like speed dial. She was on speed dial. She was always at the goddamn school. Then she was at the goddamn school so much that I was like, well, I might as well help with some things. So I had a mom who, on a random given day in elementary school, would pop in my classrooms with like brownies and bullshit. So that absolutely has shaped my perspective, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Teachers have, for at least the last 30 years, been asking parents to contribute to the classroom as a whole. Mm-hmm. Like that's, and I think that's the part that's like getting me, is the adults who are saying this are like within our age range, like at least 10 years. This is a thing because it was a thing when you were a kid too. What are you complaining about?
For 35 years.
Miss Johnson want the Kleenex, the hand sanitizers. They're going to ask you for some group. The teachers used to be good for asking for the color, the pencils, and the crayons from each parent. Because you know them babies going to run them crayons down, pop them in half, do a whole bunch of bullshit with them.
And, and beyond that, there's going to be children in that class who don't have genuinely, who genuinely don't have. And yes, them babies is going to pull from the bitches who do, as they should, because that's what community is all about. There's this new wave of individualism hitting our black ass community, and it's actually really pissing me off because that is not at our core who we are. This individualist, like, oh, I'm only worried about me and mine, me and mine, me and mine.
You know what I think it is? No, seriously, that's what it is, because for so long, like, Black people, the Black diaspora is so communal, is so tribal, is so group collective oriented. And if you think about little things that we've heard in media as Americans over the last 20 years, like what you just said, me and mine's very individualistic. Or like when we look at like, oh, all them people living in the house. Oh, you got grandma, that like that's been seen as a negative. And so we've been hearing that for the past 30, 40 years. And now I think we're seeing the repercussions of us being like internalizing group being a negative thing. In addition to like therapy culture rising, and westernized therapy is very individualistic.
Spells of white supremacy.
You guys are under spells. I swear to God, y'all under spells.
We're going to take a break.
Summer's here, bringing sunshine, road trips, beach days, and sweat. Without the right underwear, things get uncomfortable fast. That's where MeUndies comes in. Made with unbelievably soft, breathable, micromodal fabric, MeUndies helps you stay cool, even when the temperature's not. From briefs to boxers, cheeky cuts to bralettes, MeUndies has it all. To score sizzling summer deals like up to 50% off, go to MeUndies.com/Spotify and enter promo code Spotify.
And we're back.
And it's very uncomfortable and unsettling to watch in real time. You guys consistently regurgitate white supremacist Republican talking points on so many different levels because you guys are being indoctrinated and you don't realize what's happening to you. And that's the part that gets me. It's like, you bitches over here yelling the whole time. You don't know you're a fucking pawn. Got your ass. Just like that. You're over here yelling about school supplies when we really should be focusing our attention on the fact that our education system is being gutted.
They don't want to teach kids about slavery. Like, no, they're not teaching kids about slavery.
They are removing the funding, or have they already completely eradicated the Department of Education? Because I know that was a plan. I don't know if it's completely done yet.
Not, I don't think it's completely done.
Not completely, but it's on the way.
This is type of shit. Listen, and not to, like no tea, no shade. This is the type of shit that you understand. Why motherfuckers be like, well, I got to get out here and hustle because I need to send my kids to private school. Because
it's very scary.
And my parents, my mom was a public school teacher. I had one of the parents who, even though I was in certain programs where it was like, when I was a debutante, all the girls went to private school, but my mom was like, no, the public school system is good. It's like, yo, I don't know if it's going to be like that by the time I have a kid. The way that we're literally watching it be dismantled. Yeah. It's scary.
All of the public entities are being stripped, you know, from the top
and it started
down.
With Ronald Reagan.
It's actually really, and it's crazy because it's like, and then I'm watching people talk shit about teachers and stuff. And while I will talk shit about teachers when need be. Don't get me wrong. I do have my beef with a couple of bitches from some years ago. But knowing that my dad was a teacher for several years, math and science, the classes that a lot of teachers did not want to teach. My dad also taught special education, the classes that a lot of teachers refused and did not want to teach. That's why he was, quote unquote, stuck in that program for so long, because nobody wanted those kids. Y'all don't want to, my dad would do experiments because he was a science teacher. He would do experiments and stuff that was not even in the curriculum because my dad just really loved that shit and would spend his own money, you know, purchasing supplies and stuff for experiments to teach the kids and stuff so it could be fun and entertaining because the school would not really do that for them. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, yeah, if the teacher wants you to buy a couple bottles of fucking hand sanitizer, bitch, do it.
Yeah. When it comes to the teacher point, I think that's the other, I guess, point of reference that we both have is that we have parents who are teachers and we have parents who liked being teachers. It's not like, I think it's a difference, especially today with like, it's very easy to become a teacher now, right? It's a lot of people's fallback career.
Mm-hmm.
But like, as someone who had a mom who like that was her first choice, she wanted to be a teacher. You can tell that. The kids can tell that that this was your first choice, right? The parents can tell that this was your first choice. And I think that when we're critiquing teachers, at least you can always tell people who are being genuine because there are valid critiques of teachers. Like there are mean ass teachers. We've all had mean ass teachers who we know y'all don't even like kids.
And I hate
this was just all you could do. Right. And I hate you to this day. Like I don't fuck with the bitches to this day. Mm-hmm. That's different than trying to fry teachers up for asking for help. Mm-hmm. That's that. And I think that the two are trying to be conflated. Yeah. And that's the problem with social media. I feel like sometimes like it's just the conversations become disingenuous so fast. And then like you said, the other piece of it is by me being on the Black side of the internet, it's alarming to see Black people speak in a way that is becoming a way. I mean, I'm talking xenophobia, I'm talking eugenics, I'm talking like you hate fucking community. What the fuck is going on?
It's all such a pipeline. And the same people that have these questionable talking points about one topic have the same questionable talking points across all of the topics because you guys are literally being sucked into this pipeline of white supremacy because like I said, you guys are pawns and you guys don't even realize it. The same people that feel like I don't want to buy my school supplies for other kids are the same people that think Tory Lanez should be freed. I'm telling you there's a connection. And if you think I'm joking, those are
the same people who think that they can't relate to never would have made it because their parents were doctors. And who sat there and said, y'all know I voted for Trump. I don't give a fuck.
With a smirk. Now let's get into Maverick City.
No, let's pivot.
When I saw that interview, actually, I didn't see the interview. I saw a clip. I'm that type of person. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not finna go watch the whole goddamn clip to see the context and all that which came before us. No, I'm not gonna do that. You said some bullshit, and I'm gonna take it for what it is and move on. You're telling me you voted for Trump with a fucking snarky smirk on your goddamn face? I don't care how you got to that point, personally speaking.
But there was no that's the thing. I did go and watch the interview. Mm-hmm. And I personally feel like people saying that, just say you like the jeans and soft praise worship music. Mm-hmm. Because the context of that even is like, well, I didn't take it out of context. You said you were making a point and then you said, and y'all know I voted for Trump, but I don't care. And the context is supposed to be Republican values line up with but that's not. Even you want to hear what's the crazy part? In the past, like this is our second Trump term and there was a Joe Biden term, but in between, there has been a split in the Republican Party. Like there are old school Republicans who identify as Republicans like their whole life who do not identify as MAGA. Mm-hmm. So if you really was on that, you could have been like, but I'm not MAGA.
Exactly.
You wanted to say that.
And I have a thesis statement.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there was a shift in religion and Christianity, specifically within Black folks, within the past 10 years, also with the rise of white supremacy that also correlates with the music in the church that has drastically separated Christianity within Black people. Because as someone who grew up in the Baptist Southern Christianity church, it's always been a part of the Black community, but there was also a separation of like your personal life, and then there was church, and then there was this. You were made up of all these things, and within this like 10-year span of time, with the rise of SZA gospel, I've also noticed this like spiritual psychosis becoming your entire personality. This rise of Christianity being a part of your entire personality. This rise of everything is demonic, yet it only being tied into the Black side of things. I'm noticing a connection here. Once you guys took away the choir directors and the mass choirs and the 4-part harmony split, you guys started to get a little fucking crazy. Once you guys started having Christian BBLs, I knew something was afoot.
Okay, you're done. You kept pregnant pausing. I couldn't catch it. I love like for dramatic effect, but then it was like making me look like a dickhead because I was Okay, so I think I want to piggyback off of Jamila. I think it's the rise in the non-denominational churches. Walk with me. There have always been, like, you have AME, which is African Episcopal Methodist, I believe. You have COGIC, Church of God in Christ. You have Baptist, Southern Baptist, Missionary Baptist. Am I missing any? Oh, Pentecostal. Methodist. The COGIC is Pentecostal. AME is African Methodist. Like, what I'm trying to say is, I always had an understanding of, like, for example, AME people don't run up and down and aren't as loud as gospel, aren't as loud as Baptist and COGIC. Like, they don't do all that. They're more calm over there, but they still sing like gospel music. Like, each sect had its things. As we know, COGIC, you're gonna see them big old hats. That they have their own even fashion sense over there. In Missionary Baptist, you're going to get a Pentecostal vibe as well, but it's a little bit different, a little remix. What I'm trying to say is, when you started meshing and putting everyone together, and don't shoot me, integrating church, because what has the saying been? The most segregated hour in America is Sunday morning at 10 a.m. When we saw the rise of non-denominational churches and trying to fit everyone into one church service, that means you took away the black things and you took away some of the white things and you added some black things and you added some white things and you tried to make it cool for everyone, which is why I have been clear in saying, like, yo, I want to go to a black church, whether it's COGIC or Baptist. That's just my tea, because I don't want it to be watered down. And I think it's also interesting. Also, a rise in
the streaming services, the streaming
church. Well, and I feel like we saw the rise of that. Like, that was already a thing, streaming, but then COVID. So some of it has been out of necessity, right? Because COVID made it so, not everyone came back to church physically after COVID. But the thing is, like, a couple weeks ago when Essence was going on and the FBAs were so up in arms that there was even a show of non-Black American people at Essence Fest, it was this huge discourse issue. It was this huge thing of, Essence is being watered down. It's no longer Black American. I was at Essence. I have critiques of the festival this year. It not being Black American, it's not one of them. We're actually in a conversation where someone is outright saying, I am watering down gospel music. I can't relate to Never Would Have Made It because my parents are doctors. Like, I don't want to hear that. And like, it's like, where is the same energy? Like, this is because gospel music is foundationally Black American. This is when y'all should be going up.
We're going to take a break.
Leading a business today means constantly adapting. On the Executive Insights podcast, brought to you by AWS, global leaders share how they're making tough calls, testing bold ideas, and putting innovation into practice, generative AI included. If you're looking for real stories behind what's working, this is it. Subscribe to the Executive Insights podcast today, available now on all major podcast platforms.
And we're back.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a strip of the culturalness of church, and I think that's kind of like what I noticed, because although I'm someone who has kind of like distanced myself from like the entity, like the physical entity of church, what I've noticed from the outside looking in is that there is a stripping of like the cultural element of Black church, because what's funny is, like you said, there's a rise in non-denominational churches, but they're also, I've never in my life gone to a non-denominational church and seen them hooping and hollering like I have before. You used to go to the non-denominational churches because they were a little bit more quiet. They were a little bit more chill. They was like, it was now all of a sudden every non-denominational church hoops and hollers and speaks tongues. Why does everybody speak tongues? That's not even been
That's not everybody's tea.
Y'all are lying,
no,
bro.
Okay. So that's what I was trying to say. Each denomination used to be known for, like, you went to the Pentecost The Pentecostals was the one who spoke in tongues. They weren't necessarily speaking in tongues at the Missionary Baptists.
Like,
they weren't, and they for shit show on speaking in tongues at the AME because these people are calm.
Like, I'm watching this happen, and then I spoke on the rise and like streaming specifically because there was always streaming for church, right? There was always Bedside Baptist. You know, you would wake up in the morning, you could watch Bobby Jones, all of those things,
or you
right?
could listen to it on the radio back in the day. They don't do that no more.
But what happened, of course, like with COVID, so like context matters. Of course, with COVID, people weren't going to church as much because of like whatever. So a lot of the pastors would start to stream their services so people could still get the word or whatever. But on while that was happening, there was also a rise of people who were not in clergy. Are you following me? People with who did not study theology. People who barely read the Bible. People who did not go to school for this shit. Who also started to stream themselves having sermons and things like that. And so what typically started to happen was those people were starting to build congregations from the streaming aspect alone without the background, right? And so then when people started to go back to church in the physical form, those people who had developed an audience were spewing things. And those type of people who don't speak from a theological standpoint were being way more focused and way more pedestalized than the people who can't. Like, I already have my issues with the Baptist church and those preachers, and you know, but at least they was speaking from the Bible. These niggas now are just saying anything, and it don't relate to the Bible. And so then it's all these things happening in tandem. That's just like, fuck.
We're putting on Tubi movies at church. Mike Todd?
The dude from the church 9814 or whatever the fuck, 2814. It's a church here in Atlanta, and I seen it. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen because I'm just I have the type of discernment on me that does not steer me wrong. When I saw that people were lining up for hours and hours for this one church, I said, something about this, it doesn't feel right, and I can't put my finger on it, but there's something happening. I sense something in my spirit, and lo and behold, his bald-headed black ass gets up there and starts spewing anti-black rhetoric. He's caught canoodling and canoodling with Trumpies. You guys are joining cults.
Here's the thing. I said this years ago, and they called me classist elitist. And, you know, sometimes maybe I'll eat it. But I do think it matters. I think that you can be called, as someone who still is in church, right? I do think you can be called to minister. Now, does that mean you need to be at the head of the church? No. You might need to go to the choir ministry, the children's ministry, the praise dance ministry. You need to get in your prayer cupboard and figure out what the hell you're supposed to be doing with God. But I do think it's important to bring the education, bringing it back to education and school supplies, back to the church. Because the knowledge of what you're pulling from, unfortunately, in the religious sector of things does matter. You can be a motivational speaker. You don't have to be a pastor, right? There is a lot of things that are said now that don't necessarily align with doctrine. And I say that as someone who I don't agree with all the doctrine in the Bible, but at least I can get on here and say, you know, this is my personal opinion, and this is what the Bible says. And I think what makes it, you're getting into cult-like status when you detour too much from whatever doctrine you're supposed to be, you know, aligned with. When you start being like,
church is your identity.
A Christian BBL don't make no damn sense, baby. You got a motherfucking BBL.
And it's like, there's church merch. And while I'm not necessarily saying that's something that's new, I'm saying that it's becoming everything about you. This church, this specific building, this specific pastor, you are ingesting everything they say as law, and you are self-identifying with the church in and of itself, and not the church as a, you know, as an institution, but the church as that physical place. And that's how I know you guys are being inundated into cults.
It's
because if somebody says, hey, I think
Jamila,
what your pastor just said was some bullshit, now you're attacking me and saying that I'm devil and demonic.
Well, yes, y'all do that a lot. There has always been that people like being associated with the big church. I think the issue now is there are so many big churches. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like nothing but big churches.
It's like nothing but big churches. See, back in the day, back in my day, it was You in your city, you had one or two
there
big
was
churches.
one or two.
And then you had all the regular
pops.
little churches. And if you went, and that's how you knew who went to the big churches, because they would make it their personality. The big church in Sacramento, big black church, was St. Paul. And if a motherfucker went to St. Paul, you knew they went to St. Paul because they told you they went to St. Paul, and they wore St. Paul like a, it's like it's always been around, but I think we're seeing it so much more that it's like, okay, there's only supposed to be one or two
mega churches, bro. Like,
it's only supposed to be one or two. But I mean, life is hard right now. Religion always peaks when the economy is in the shitter. It's a lot going on.
I would love to see some of these big mega churches on the grounds.
I want people to be able to respect each other's religion. I don't have an issue with leaning on religion. Obviously, I lean on religion myself at moments in time. But I think that when you make it your own personality, you don't leave room for like true interpretation. And like Jamila just said, when someone says, hey, I don't agree with what your pastor just said, now you're calling them a fuck ass bitch. And see, that is that even Christ-like to begin with? Because no, I'm sorry to the Jackie Hill Perry stans. I don't think she should have told them babies they're going to die, because I have a mom who taught children's church and I was given that message, and not in that way. There is an age appropriate way to teach kids the Bible. You're not going to convince me of that. And you can call me a fuck ass bitch. You shouldn't, but like, it is what it is.
A lot of these mega church pastors, and I use that loosely, are just girl boss capitalists.
It is what it is.
And they're just using the church as their medium. And the thing is, mega churches have always been a little capitalist for sure. But because there's like an influx of mega churches, I think people are looking at
Dollar?
Like, you know what I mean?
Creflo Dollar?
It's always been there.
Creflo Dollar's name was his namesake.
There's
that
always,
man made a dollar.
Now it's like people are using it as a cheat code and a get rich quick scheme, because they know religion is a money grab, and they know that if they rebrand as a Christian girly on TikTok, their followers are going to go up, because so many people are ingesting this. And it's just a little bit odd. It's a little bit strange to me, because that's just not what I understood religion to be. But what I'm noticing is like, and I'm hoping you guys are noticing it, it's really only that Christianity component. I don't see the Muslim girls doing this. I don't see the Buddhist girls doing this. I don't see any other religion necessarily leading in this way.
Hold on. Not in this way. But like, as you know, I like to dibble and dabble and see what the hell going on with everybody. Everyone's religion is money. Like, you can, especially when the religion is big enough, and when it has, like, the Muslim girlies who do the modesty content with the outfits, the Muslim girlies who do the makeup. First of all, them bitches eat the makeup up. They eat the makeup up. But I'm saying there is a capitalistic component.
The same way as Christianity, though.
No, it's not the same way as Christianity, but I do think that to say that people don't eat, pray, love, and travel to Tahiti and be on their Buddhist bullshit, on some capitalist bullshit, that's not, like, that's a fact.
I just am not seeing it in the way that I see with Christianity, in the way of like this whole, this idea of like a complete Christian rebrand. I don't see that with the other religions. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying that like, I don't see it as much.
You've never seen someone convert to Muslim and become, and like make their whole person.
I've definitely seen people have converted. I'm saying I don't see the influx with other religions as much as I see with Christianity.
America, we're in America.
I know.
No, but okay. We're saying the same thing. I'm agreeing with you, but I think that it's fair to say it does happen with other religions.
Sure, but I
People
think
do make it their entire
my problematic
personality.
point with it is the fact that specifically with Christianity in America, though, there's also this evangelical component. And when you tie the evangelical component to this Christian rebrand, it's tying to white supremacy. So while I do see a lot of Muslim rebrands and things like that, or the conversions, a lot of it is not also tied into the white supremacy element. And so that's the difference. And because a lot of these Christian rebrands are also tying into anti-Blackness as well. And that's when I'm just like, guys, what's going on? And to bring it back to my original point, I think it's because the Mississippi Mass Choir has not dropped. We're not being led by choirs. We have Maverick City putting out SZA Gospel. It's not right.
That's the point.
It's not right.
It's not right. It's a point.
Like,
That's
why
fair.
does Maverick City have a monopoly on gospel music, though? Like, I literally noticed. I was like, damn, who is Maverick? Why do they have a fucking monopoly on gospel music, bro? Like, what happened to... I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, I think that I'm ruminating on your white supremacy point, which I absolutely agree with, but I think it comes from the evangelical aspect of things. Yes. And I only stuck out to me because I'm not an evangelical. If you know what like evangelical is, it's like a concept of more so like spreading the gospel. Mm-hmm. I think that religion is a very like personal like walk. Yes, so if you more identify with Islam, if you more identify with Buddhism, I'm not the person who's going to be like, no, you need to come to Christianity. I'm not. That's not who I've ever been. So I can appreciate that because in church, especially American church, we are taught to spread the gospel. Like that is a very big thing. So I can see how with the rebrands and the white supremacy, like it's like an octopus and its legs are canoodling and reaching all over the place.
It's almost like a forcing because I think like also spreading the gospel can look a few different ways. Like I'll use my own aunt as an example because I truly think that she's on God's list. Okay, she's priority. Okay, she is boarding first when it comes time to it. I've never met anyone as close to God as that lady, right? And so I think that I use her as an example because while we still are very much bouncing, in the world. Right? I'm all over the world. I'm very worldly, right? The way that in which she spreads the gospel is through just her everyday speak. You know what I'm saying? And I don't remember my point. Sorry.
You were saying your aunt was very godly.
I just don't. She's you don't see her like just hooping and hollering. I think it's just in her everyday language is the way that when she just maneuvers the world.
Well, that's kind of how I was taught too.
Like, it pulls people in that will be pulled in versus saying you are listening to Beyonce and you're going to her concert and you're going to hell.
And I don't want to hear that shit.
Now you're losing me
because I'm not listening to that
shit.
Girl, I'm not listening.
You're part of that lady beehive.
I don't give a fuck. I am.
Yes,
and is.
We're gonna take a break. It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask second grade teacher Mr. Torres.
Put me and just one Clorox wipe on a team? We can take on crayon smudges, sticky fingerprints on every surface, sneezes on the door handle, juice box explosion by the sink, snack crumbs, and don't even get me started on the bathroom passes.
Clorox disinfecting wipes, teacher's #1 wipe.
Think about it. Bathroom passes.
Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
And we're back.
No, I was definitely taught like you shouldn't have to tell people things about you. They should be able to see it. Like my mom was like, you shouldn't have to tell people you're smart because when they speak to you, they should be able to tell you're intelligent. You shouldn't have to tell people you're a Christian because when they speak to you, you should be letting God like lead with your word. Like, so I definitely get that. And that's how I think anyway. Yeah, I think what's happening on the internet, I just think the things that are happening with Christianity have always been happening. It's just so magnified and we're seeing it so much more because of the internet and because of social media apps. Because I have known quote unquote Christian influencers my entire life. Like I grew up in church. I knew the girls who made it their personality. That's not new. The church being your personality, that's not new. For sure. Like it's just on such a grander scale right now, and it seems like there's so many more people.
Everything spread like wildfire, like on every problematic possible thing in any realm. Because we have social media, like sync it over and over and over again. It's making it more regular, and it's like there are people out there who have the ability to grab a hold of things and take it for what it is and let it go. And then there are some people who, unfortunately, they're just a little weak-minded, and it's not necessarily this. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And you take everything for face value and then you just accept it for what it is. And you don't, release the parts that you don't like, if that makes sense. And so those people that are easily influenced, they get trapped into a lot of different things. You have to be very strong-willed being on the internet. Because you'll see so many different things. You have to have a strong
mind. Yeah. You have to be very self-assured. And just if I'm even thinking about people who are not like, who are more open with religion or more religious type influencers, if you can lean on your religion, Do you get what I'm saying? Like, when people are attacking me and you, it's like they're attacking Mecca and Jamila as its own entity. And unfortunately, I am Mecca. Like, so I have to have some like self-worth and self-distinction there. But if you're like a Christian influencer or a Muslim influencer, Buddhist influencer, and someone is arguing with you over your religion, like you do have the religion to fall back on and be like, well, you're not necessarily attacking me, you're attacking my religion. I do think that be the difference and why it's easier to maneuver. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that correctly?
I'm tracking.
Okay. Period. Well, stop making it weird, guys. That like, we don't care that you love Jesus. We don't care that you love Allah. We don't even care that you love Buddha. Go ahead. But don't be weird about it.
I'm glad you guys find peace in that. I think that's the whole point of religion, is to find some love of peace.
Non-religious people, I have something for you right now too, because we've been lighting up Christians. As someone who dated an atheist.
Oh, and I, to this day, laugh at that fact. Because how the fuck did you...
Listen, I when I sat here and said I'd be in everyone's business, I'm interested in what everyone's doing, that's why I can pull from knowledge, I was serious. I wasn't pulling out my ass. I'd be on Muslim TikTok. I know what be going on over there too when they be getting into arguments and shit. Atheists are almost just as bad as super duper evangelicals.
Atheists are very annoying.
And I mean annoying as fuck. When I was with my ex, I wasn't even the problem. Because I'm not someone who's like trying to preach. And I'm like, hey man, whatever, it works for you, I'm good with. This just works for me. And it was always a conversation, and even I've seen it in my own comments, like something, I think it's funny, but I've had people in my comments be like, you're way too smart to be Christian. And it's just like, hey man, there are certain things I can't explain. There are certain things that go on in the world that we're not going to have an explanation from. And I'm okay with like not being sure about certain things. I'm okay with the idea and the concept of faith. I'm okay with being like, hey, God in the sky, love him. Cool. I'll figure out what I can figure out down here. There are people who are not okay with that and need an explanation. Or if they can't get an explanation, they're like, it doesn't exist. I don't think you're better because you choose to think that. Like, you're not better. And a lot of the time it comes off just as dickheadish as evangelicals. It's pretentious.
Yeah, it's like literally the old school joke: an atheist and a vegan walk into a bar, like who announces themselves first. Like, it's the same. Like, when people have these very affirmative identities or talking points on either side, a lot of the times those are shells, and like, it's just underneath all of that, you're just annoying.
And the thing is, a lot of atheists are ex-evangelicals. So you think that you're so rebranded, but you're bringing the same energy to what your new thought of mind.
Yeah.
I'll give an example before we move on. I went to school with a very, very evangelical person. I mean, they were annoying as fuck. And I mean, like, white evangelical Christian, all the things. We get grown. This person eventually comes out as gay, and then comes out as trans. And what this person doesn't get, I keep this person on social media because I'm fascinated. Like, truly, because this person has not changed. They just took their annoying as fuck evangelical energy and applied it to the other side. You're still rude. You're still mean. When people don't agree with your points, you're still fucking an asshole. You just said, oh, I'm going to take it and put it over here now. And that is the thing that a lot of atheists have. And I think that if you're going to deconstruct truly, if you're going to say, hey, religion is not my judge truly, then you do have to get somewhat out of that religious frame of mind. And something that we are taught in church is to be very aggressive. Be very aggressive with your beliefs. You don't have to be aggressive. Like, if you believe it all goes dark after we die, just believe that. Yeah. It's cool.
It's just like, that's great. Because, like, what do you want me to do now? Like, I feel the same way about people telling me I'm going to go to hell for listening to Kirk Franklin.
You see?
What now?
It's the same energy.
What do you want me to do now that you've killed me? Like, I don't know. Like,
now that you've damned me.
I genuinely am so confused. Like, that personality type, I hate it. Get away from me. Like,
Honestly,
whatever your thing is.
And in all
ew.
brands, I just don't want, I
brands.
just can't. Aggressiveness, I can't.
And then also this like idea of like, you're so unwilling to change your mind about something.
Grow up.
Like, girl, okay.
Please.
You got it.
Please, you got it. I don't give a fuck.
Sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so if you're so unwilling to change your mind, then why are we talking?
We're going to take a break.
When you're separating from the military, no one tells you how hard it can be to get your civilian life up to speed. But with VA benefits, it doesn't have to be. From the VA home loan requiring no down payment, to the GI Bill covering tuition, books, and cost of living, to VA healthcare offering top-ranked, low-cost care designed specifically for veterans. All the support you need is at VA. I'm here telling every veteran because I wish someone had told me. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Your earbud fell in a coffee cup. You need a taco pick-me-up. When modern life gets rough, grab the timeless taste you love. Paso, the old El Paso.
And we're back.
Welcome to our segment, Spin It. Now, this is where Jamila and I take your messy, low-down, gutter-snipe situations and give them a PR spin, as well as some advice. Now, keep in mind, Jamila and I are not PR professionals. We just studied communications in undergrad, and we actually really love this shit. Because, I mean, PR is just a career field on how to maneuver being messy. Remember, you can email at unhingedandimoralpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to send your ages, your genders, your races. I always forget, is there something else? I always feel like there's something else they should send. Let us know your political parties. All right. Jamila, what do we have?
Actually, don't, because if one of y'all say you're a fucking Republican, I'm going to find a way to block y'all. No shade. This is a liberal podcast. If you didn't already know by the two black chicks leading. Thank you.
Leftist. Somewhat
Anywho,
leftist.
I absolutely love your podcast. It has been the highlight of my Thursday and gets me through the work week. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thanks.
Here's the stitch. My ex, 23 female, and I, 26 trans mask, broke up last year, but we have started talking again early this year to the point of getting back together. As of recently, I have been getting mixed signals and her words have not been adding to her actions. We are in this huge gray area. Like we started to say the L word again to each other. She started saying it to me first, which took me off guard. But I didn't think anything of it because we were working on getting back together. Last month in March, however, she has been trying to get a job, and unfortunately, she lost that opportunity to get that job, but that was out of her hands. That's when I noticed her taking a step back and distancing herself from me. This triggered me because it took me back to a time when we were together and some shit would happen, and I'm trying to reach out to her, but she shuts me out. I was just more so confused because she has been doing better on communication with me. So when I tried to reach out to talk to her, she shut me down completely. I gave her some time over that week to be by herself. Then I tried again and no luck, but she at least told me she would be ready to on a different day. That day, she comes and apologizes for how she's been acting, but I don't accept it fully because she has never spoken to me in that manner before. And I told her it's going to take me some time. After that, I'm thinking that since we resolved it, we would be okay. Wrong again. It just went back to her not communicating with me once again. And when we would hang out, she wouldn't seem like she was with me, you know? Mind you, we are long distance. It wasn't until I realized she stopped talking to me in the way she used to, stopped flirting with me, and wanting to hang out around with her friends more. At this time, it didn't really bother me because I started to work more, so I couldn't hang out with her as much. Little did I know she started talking to some 30-something-year-old who is a woman who has been married previously. Yes, married for 10 years. And they just finalized a divorce a year ago. Now, what is a 30-plus-year-old doing talking to someone who's in their early 20s is beyond me. Now, hold on. Oh, 23. Okay, I just had to confirm. I couldn't remember the age.
Was the woman married to a woman or a man?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
She never told me she was talking to someone else after I asked her. It wasn't until we got into another argument due to miscommunication once again, because we are planning to see each other in May, but I haven't really heard anything from her and like planning and stuff. She didn't even tell me. I have to ask her again. Then when she did, I just asked, why didn't she tell me? Because every time I would want to hang out or talk to her, it felt like I was interrupting something. And she says how she didn't know how to. Bullshit excuse. I know. Ooh. I told her I'm not going to retaliate or anything. It's the fact that yes, we're talking, so we're not official. But we did have a conversation about talking to other people and what that would look like. And she said she would let me know and I would respect it because I wouldn't want to intrude on that. Y'all are very long-winded in these spinets, FYI.
They have to give us all the information.
It's just the fact that how can you go from telling your ex that you love them and you want to be with them again to completely blindsiding them and starting talking to someone else and not say anything? Now, with May approaching, a part of me just wants to cancel the trip altogether. But another part of me wants to go through with it and tell her exactly how she's made me feel in person rather just by the phone call. Should I still go through with this, or is it just the lost cause? Would really help if I could get a response before I leave late May. Oops, my bad.
I was going to say, well.
Also, would like to add, we were together for almost 2 years and broke up mid-2024. I live in Florida. She lives in Alabama. The person she's currently talking to lives in Tennessee. We are both Black, by the way.
You know, before we start, the one thing, you know how like, when trans men still consider themselves lesbians, this tied that up into a bow because the spirit of lesbianism is all over this letter. Why do you need to be friends with their...
Now, where you fucked up with is talking back to your ex. No shade. I know a lot of people are double backers. I personally am. Y'all are, I'm against double backing because if it didn't work, and you guys had and there was an actual situation that occurred to where you guys are not together, why are we going back? There's always something new along the way. I don't know. I don't personally understand the lore of talking to an ex specifically. I don't understand that. But judgment aside,
listen,
she seems like she's being a dickhead.
Is he also 23?
26.
26? Okay. Other thing, friend.
You're too old to
that
be still
30, no, I was going to say that 30-something has their shit together. And see, some things surpass gender when I say, when bitches start fucking with someone older, it's because they're like, oh, they have their shit together. I'm just telling you as someone who's fucking with older dudes because I was like, oh. You will quickly find out that bitch is probably, she's been divorced. So. She probably a mess too, but that's something that that's a lesson you gotta learn on your own. So that also explains a lot with the lack of communication and the pulling back. I would leave this bitch alone.
She's clearly not serious.
Yeah. Can you hear my stomach?
She stopped talking to you to talk to another bitch who is also long distance. She's having a good time and she's also, mingling with somebody who also lives in her area code. She's racking up.
No, it's stones. Tennessee, Alabama. Oh, you said she's also doing that.
Yeah.
Obviously, yes. She has someone in Alabama.
So it's and it seems like you are more so invested in having an actual relationship. It seems like you're in that space in your life where you're okay, I kind of want to settle down. I kind of want a relationship. I kind of want to, because you throwing back love. Okay. Friend, I think that you need to go ahead and divest in that lady. Okay. Yeah. And move forward. Okay. You're in Florida. There's plenty to pick from. So I don't know.
I was going to say, isn't Florida, you can find you a lady in Florida. You can find you a lady in Florida. Go ahead and do that.
You can find a couple of things in Florida. Whatever you're into.
Also, if you're interested in long distance, there's just so much more. I would be interested in knowing, did you go and see her since we got to this so late?
Right, I was going to say, no shade, you got to have to kind of reach back out and let us know.
Follow up. Did you end up going? And then we can respond to that as well, since we were definitely on Black people time with the response to this letter.
we do get a lot of things. I will say this though, like as somebody who does engage in long distance canoodling, the long distance people that you talk to should not be difficult, if that makes sense. Like if you are having a long distance
that's a word, Jamila. That's a word. Speak to them.
Yeah. When you have a long distance boo, it should be easy peasy, right?
Yeah.
And the moment it gets weird, end it, because what are we like?
All
All
we
we
arguing
can do
about
is kiki over the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it weird? Why are you being weird to me when we're just kikiing over the phone, a little FaceTime here and there? You know what I'm saying? Like, if shit gets weird with your boo and you're all in the same city, not that is better, but it makes sense. You having dissonance and relationship issues with a motherfucker that lives across state lines is crazy.
Listen,
why?
I have been a proponent of long distance relationships for some time. This past year, one of my long distance situations was outed on the internet when baby got online and said she found my nudes in her nigga's phone. And the thing was, that was one of my favorite niggas. So it's like, you want to know why he lasted for so long? Because there was he saved all of that energy and bullshit for her. Because had he brought it to my door, I would have stopped talking to him.
Because there's nothing keeping
There's nothing to talk about. We could only talk.
Keeping a long distance boo there but communication. So if your communication is lacking, what do we have?
What are we talking about?
The one wham bam when we see you next month? like I'm not gonna keep you around long enough for that.
I want to teach you guys how to do long distance relationships right quick. Let's pivot. The thing with long distance relationships can oftentimes turn out like a Love Island situation. Because since all you can do is talk and speak to the person, there is this feeling that you know them so deeply. Because for hours, you don't have that physical element. So there's nothing to do but just tell each other our secrets and like how we're feeling and like all this thing. So there is this like weird thing where it's like, oh my God, I'm so connected. I'm so in love with this person, right? You can feel that because it's going to happen, but take it with a grain of salt. And I say that because anything can break up a long distance situation. Someone's too stressed out to answer the phone. Someone's too busy to answer the phone. Someone's just at a fucking workout class. They can't answer the phone. Anything can break that up. So don't look too deeply. Just feel it in the moment and then put it on the table.
Take it for what it is, And I think when you're dating, because I don't even want to talk on a relationship tip, because I think that's
no, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about just long distance boos.
Right. So on
I'm just pulling you for a chat.
The dating pool, when you're dating people who don't live in your same area code, when you're dating people who live across state lines, maybe even by different coast, even.
I love a different coast nigga.
You literally have to understand that. Once you put into your mind that there's also people that live in the same state as him, and so there's also bitches that live in the same state as him, which means they're talking to bitches that live across the street from them.
Yeah.
And once you understand that, I think that long distance dating is for people who are okay with the fact that their people are dating other people. If that's not something that you're okay with, then don't date somebody who's long distance.
Yeah. No matter how serious it is.
Period.
And even though, the thing is, people lie, obviously, but you can lie so much better when your person lives 3,000 miles away. Walk with me.
And they can make it feel any kind of way.
They can make you feel however. All they need is 2 hours on the FaceTime call with you. They have another 22 hours in their day. So even if you feel like, oh, we're in a relationship, this my boyfriend, this my girlfriend, this my they, them, they can definitely still have someone else. I'm telling you, because I had a nigga who I moved to Baltimore for and quickly found out he had been fucking with people the whole time. I'm just speaking from experience here. Take that shit. And mind you, didn't stop with the long distance relationships. Just said, I'm going to do it better now. Keep your expectations low.
times out of 10. The person you're talking to who's long distance also talks to other people who is in their same city. Because it makes sense.
Why not?
So that's what I'm saying. Long distance dating can be cool and it can be digestible if you understand that point, and if you lead with the fact that like I don't have to deal with anything that's weird. If I'm talking to you and we're long distance, and the moment shit gets weird, I'm cool with letting that shit go, because nigga, you don't even live in this state. What the fuck am I? Why the fuck would I argue with a nigga that don't live here for?
We can't even fuck on a regular basis.
That's crazy.
I don't even have the opportunity to be dickmatized. Are you seeing what I'm saying?
There's none of that. So if the communication is bad,
it's the kikis. I'm no longer kikiing. I'm actually mad as fuck. No.
So we say all that to say, friend, leave that bitch alone and get a new one.
Get another bitch. That bitch don't work, I get another one. That bitch don't work, I get two bitches.
As you see, she's talking to somebody else. And like I said, it doesn't seem like that's something that's okay with you. And it doesn't seem like you're very open to like dating multiple people right now. And which is cool, which is fine. You don't have to be. So you should probably find you a bitch in your city.
In Florida.
In your city. A bitch you can keep an eye on. Well. You need a bitch you can keep an eye on. Okay.
All right. Well, don't forget to write back, because I need to know if you ended up going.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get into these reviews. All right, y'all. We're finna read some of y'all's lovely comments that y'all have been leading on various platforms. Please continue to engage with us. We really, really, really love it. All right, I'm gonna start with the Spotify ones. This was off the episode, Can I Get an Encore? Hannah SN said, Mecca remembering our faces is so cute. Oh, you were talking about the For You pages, or not the For You pages, the profile pictures.
Oh, the Abbeys. Yes.
Yeah. Dor Winifred Reed says, if Beyonce releases another movie in theaters, I'm going to sneak a camera in for some old school bootleg. And make sure you send me a copy, darling.
It's looking like it's going to be on HBO, though. It was HBO cameras there.
My God, on today. Mm-hmm.
Melisa, and y'all know Melisa was at the concert where Destiny's Child came.
Natalie S. says, baby, Jamila was big mad at Otis. Don't get me started on another rant. Ed Leo says, this episode was killing me. Top moments was the Beyonce recap. I saw her night 2 in Atlanta and was gagged. And the second being Michael making his presence known in the room. Oh my gosh, I forgot that happened, Michael. I see you. And the last comment I have is from Kiara Orna. Jamila, I'm going to need you to hush, babe, because how the hell did Beyonce get robbed after you said Julius wasn't letting anybody touch her? You're done. And has anyone touched her?
Jamila, stop talking. You keep saying
Has
stuff.
anyone touched her?
And can I give theories? That was a setup. Who said that?
Read those YouTube comments.
Okay. Koya's curated chaos said nobody. ... Mecca. After reading The Matriarch, that book changed your life. Y'all.
She literally brings it up
y'all
every episode.
don't understand. It really did change my life. And I feel like it came at such a transformative moment in my life where I'm being thrusted into like the public eye. And the entire book is Tina literally talking about what it was like going from being regular to being thrust in the public eye. So like, yes, I will forever reference it. Paige Wagey said, I really think B's going to have a museum built.
For sure.
I can absolutely see that. But then knowing her, she's going to make it like a Black History music museum. Like she's going to obviously be centered, but like where she gets all her inspiration from. Daniel Peters 6271 said, I don't think we're going to get a full scope of how amazing her work is until she lets it all hang out like Denzel when she's gone. Generational talent. Yo, because Denzel been letting it hang out. He been like living in his old Black Uncle era. I love you. Mac23 said Kurt Franklin is like Christian Black David Guetta. Shay Ricks 7738 said Jamila with the old man bravado has me crying. Tavi Talks said sometimes after dealing with lots of chaos in relationships, healthy feeling can feel boring. So I would follow up on what Anthony deems boring. Oh, that's good. That's good.
This is from Apple Podcasts. Mr. Tacos 98 says, new fave podcast. If you're in the car all day for work like me, this podcast is a total lifesaver. It's a straight up hilarious. Like, I'm laughing so hard I probably look unhinged to other drivers. The vibes are immaculate, and it legit feels like you're the funniest friends are riding shotgun. Long drives, not even mad about them anymore. This podcast keeps me sane and entertained. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That means so much.
Wonderful review. I really appreciate that.
All right. Well, do we have any church announcements?
Make sure you guys go over to unhingedimmoral.com to see all the things that we've been getting ourselves into, and make sure you guys purchase you some Unhinged and Immoral merch. That's it.
That's about it.
All right. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Unhinged and Immoral is hosted by Jamila Bell and Mecca.
Produced by Melisa D. Monts and Diamond MPrint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Llorens.
Production assistant by Melanie D. Watson.
Music by Audie and Brooklyn Billionaires.
And graphics by Claudia Choi.